The book of Genesis is the book of creation, and with every creation, they were given a diet or a program special to them and the vessel that they have. Each species has no choice but to stick to that program, the same as the sun has no choice but to rise and set the same time every day. But the human is the one exception to the rule. What's different about the human than all the others? The human was given free will. With your free will comes consequences, which is a learning tool for your advancement. The book of knowledge, the keys of Enoch, karma, a universal law of cause and effect, which provides the soul with the opportunities for physical, mental, and spiritual growth. The book of knowledge, the keys of Enoch, chapter 18. In other words, at the end of an evolutionary program, if the genetic code of an individual soul has not deemed worthy for the next step function of species regeneration into the light, the soul is placed one or several biological step functions back. Your physical body in this lifetime will bear the results of the decisions that you made. The book of Genesis is the book of creation of all things, including man and woman. The spiritual man, spiritual woman was made in the image of the Creator with the same potential for creating and being immortal. Genesis 1, chapter 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. At your core, you are immortal. You can't die. Only the vessel goes. But that spirit man and woman is still there. And you have the potential, like the Father, to create. So male and female is basically the positive and negative charges, which gives everything the ability to create. Anything that is created has to use the positive and the negative charges. That's the polarity in everything that we have on earth. Everything that is created uses those two polarities, positive and negative, in order to be created. The spirit man is like God, being it can create with the positive and negative charges, male and female, and it is immortal. It is eternal. So much for your idea of YOLO. Then the physical man and woman was created from the dust, dirt, or the elements as a vessel to house the spirit man and woman. And what you also got to keep in mind, anytime you hear man, it's man and woman. Adam was a man and a woman. It's a race of people. It's just a code name for a race of people, just like Eve is a code name for a race of people. Eve is man and woman. Adam is man and woman. So when you hear man, always think of man and woman. It's just the perception of how they used to write back in those days. They always use man to describe man and woman. Genesis 2, chapter 7. And the Lord God formed man and woman of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man and woman became a living soul. Genesis 5, verse 2. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. So this is describing the creation of the physical bodies of the male and female Adam, and the union, the perfect union between it and the spiritual body. With the creation of these vessels, there was a diet prescribed by the Creator, preserve the physical man and woman, but most of all to maintain the connection with the spiritual man and woman and the Creator, and also for medicine. Genesis 1:29. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seeds, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. All right, you got your diet. Now let's go get your medicine. Ezekiel 47, verse 12. And by the river upon the bank thereof, on this side and on that side, shall grow all trees for meat, and the fruit thereof shall be for meat, and the leaf thereof shall be for medicine. I'm going to clarify one thing, the word meat, because I know I'm going to get some questions about that. What you have to understand is the Bible is a book of prophecy about the United States of America. There's various names indicating that it's the United States of America. For more in-depth description of that, you can go to Louis J. Armstrong. Type that in on YouTube, and he goes into a deeper aspect about the book, the Bible, and its origins. These people who wrote this book knew that the children of Israel were going to be in America, and they already knew of the diet that you're going to be consuming at this point in time. And they knew that when you got this doctrine in your hand and this revelation, you were already eating meat. They're telling you your original diet was the fruit, and you have to swap it out with the meat that you're currently eating. So that's why it says take it for your meat, because you are already eating meat. So now you have to swap it back out for your original diet. Let's talk about the fast. The fast was also created, but not the way we see it today, where we stop eating food and only drink water, eat fruits, or drink juice for a period of time. The original fast was the original program given to us from the the beginning for maintaining the physical, spiritual man and woman from sickness, darkness, and negation. It was designed for a continual lifestyle, not for a diet, an hourly fast, a daily fast, or a fad, but it was for life. Apocalypse of Elijah, chapter 1, verse 15, the benefits of the fast. Remember that from the time when he created the heavens, the Lord created the fast, so that the evil will not inflame you, but is the pure fast, which I have created. The one who fasts continually will not sin, but a pure fast is what I have created, with a pure heart and pure hands. It releases sin, it heals diseases, it casts out demons. The food you eat is more than just your health. It has to do with metaphysics. The food you eat can attract darkness into your life in many different fashions. And we wonder why they have all this fast food and all this bad food and even the good food. They try to spray them because they need you to be in that position of darkness. But you got to understand, there will always be enemies of the continual fast. You're going to have doctors and dietitians telling you, you're going to lose muscle mass if you don't eat this. You're going to need more protein. You can't get iron from the vegetables. You only could get iron from the meats. You got to remember, these people are students of the system. The same system that set up the McDonald's on the corner, the liquor store in every corner. They're not into the business of fixing you. When you take on the continual fast, if initially your body is sick and has a lot of toxins, you will get sick. The body's going to clear out everything and dump all the nonsense and garbage you've been putting in there for years. But that's how the body heals itself. It tears everything down and then it rebuilds you. Continue. Probably after 7 days you get sick. Some people after 14 days they get sick. And then when you rejuvenate yourself, your body will be stronger than it's ever been before. Apocalypse of Elijah, chapter 1, verse 13. Setting aside the law of God, those who have made their belly their gods, saying, the fast does not exist, nor did God create it, making themselves strangers to the covenant of God and robbing themselves of the glorious promise. Now these are not ever correctly established in the firm faith. Therefore, don't let those people lead you astray. Now, why is the gut such a big deal? Because of your 7 chakras, your sacrum chakra around your genitals, and more importantly, your solar plexus around your navel. That's your energy center. Not only your physical strength, but more importantly, your etheric and magnetic vital force. For example, you want to drop a man? Hit him right in his navel. You get intuition, you say you got a gut feeling. The first sign of fear, you feel the fear right in your gut. If you've ever had a fear of speaking in front of people, you get that same feeling right in your gut. And the next time you get angry, really angry, just think about where that energy or that force is coming from. You're going to feel it coming straight from your gut. That is your energy center. The Father made your body perfect, and He gave you the perfect diet in order to maintain it. He gave you laws for you not to defile it, because you can't drive a Benz and put 89 gas in it, and you can't pour diesel fuel in a 4-cylinder engine. It will disrupt the program, and you are no different. Flesh or meat disrupts your program. Some of the things we think is normal because of age is not even normal. Losing your hair, men getting bald at like 30, 40. It's the food you eat. Losing the strength in their loins. You can't get an erection. It's the food you eat. A lot of women, they go to the doctors, yeast infections, all that milk, all that cheese you eating. Everything or every decision you made in this lifetime, you're gonna feel it in this lifetime. Genesis chapter 9, verse 4. But the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall ye not eat. Only be sure that thou eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. Key word here is blood. In the blood is stored a program of every creature. So now when you eat the creature, you're combining your program, your DNA, RNA, with another creature's DNA and RNA. And the problem with that is you are above this creature. Now your body doesn't know what to do with it. A lot of the food we eat doesn't even come out. It's stuck in your small intestines. It doesn't even reach the large intestines. So people aren't passing everything they're putting in, and it stores in there and becomes disease later because the body doesn't know what to do with that food, because that food is for a different program, a different animal. Now, does this continual fast work for every human? Yes. But was the covenant directed to every human? No. He was talking directly to the Israelites. Leviticus 17, verse 14. The children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. Now the Israelites had the direct connection to the divine, so it's telling you once you start eating this, you're gonna lose yourself. And we sure did. They're telling you Israel, you black man and colored folk, that you would fall even further eating this, because it's a frequency and a vibrational thing. Now this part is past your body. It's your spirit that's talking about now when it talks about being cut off from your divine connection. Why there's a tsunami and all the animals is gone, but only the humans is getting killed, and we supposed to be the higher beings because you lost your divine connection. Now the writers and initiates who told these stories, they told them in a form of mythology using characters from their time, but they're just describing us in this day. These rules were made for the people of the covenant, not saying that everybody else can't do it, but it was specifically made for you. Now these initiates with divine inspiration wrote these stories using characters and mythologies of their time with people who are the same kin as you to describe what you would be doing today. These rules were made for the people of the covenant. For example, when they used "this is your meat," it was an understanding that they had of what you would be eating today, because these people knew the precession of the equinox and they knew you were going into the dark ages. So this is not their first time, their first go around, okay? This is not the first set of people who've done this and gone through this process, because it's a cycle. Because there's even a part in Leviticus where it tells you sorts of meat that you could eat, because they knew you were going to do it anyway. So even to preserve your body as long as possible during the dark ages when you were going to eat everything that walks, they tell you, listen, don't eat everything that walks, only eat this, only eat that. And even some of the stuff that you're told not to eat, you still eat. The stuff that crawls on the belly, the crabs and the lobsters that you love so much. Well, he said you could eat that, but he also said don't eat crabs, anything that crawls, and you still eat that. The point is they knew you were going to eat everything that walks, and they even gave you a diet for that. So at least you could preserve your body so you wouldn't die immediately. But he told you once you start eating these things, you will surely die. Now in the dark ages, when you start eating from that menu, the menu that told you what meats to eat, but which would still lead you to death, every now and then the priests would make sacrificing a meat, and it had to be consecrated by a true Hebrew priest. There's no meat none of y'all is eating this day that is consecrated by no priest before you go and eat it. And I can't tell the last time I seen a true Hebrew priest walking around anywhere. And the point of the sacrifices and the consecration, that goes into metaphysics, and I'm just not going to get into that today. I want to more concentrate on the diet and what people should be eating, more than concentrate on the people who want to eat flesh. Because if you're going to eat flesh, regardless what I say, you're going to do it anyway. This is more a focus of people who want to change their diet. Now, a lot of us are proud and we say we're Hebrews and we're this and we're that. We don't eat pork. But if you look at any one of these Hebrew characters, they didn't eat any meat. These Hebrews knew the ramifications for defiling the body, physical, spiritually, and metaphysically. And that's why some of them would even rather be put to death than eat any form of flesh. But a lot of us seem to skip that part. Daniel 1, verse 8. But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor the wine which he drank. 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 63. Wherefore they rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. Now you mean to tell me all y'all always talk about Daniel and the Maccabees, but everybody seems to skip this part. It didn't say pork. It didn't say only eat fish. It said I ain't defiling my body with no meat. I'd rather die. They knew the ramifications of eating it, and for them the physical body was meaningless. So they would offer that up instead of offering up the connection to divine through their spirit. They knew it would lower their vibration. They knew about frequency. They knew everything. You gotta understand that everything is frequency and vibration. And when you eat something, you take on what you ate. So when you eat the plants, you take on all the knowledge that the plant has to give to you, the DNA that the plant has to give to you. But that was made for your diet. You take on an animal, you take on that lower vibration of the animal, plus how it was killed. This is why the Jews that we have today, they have that kosher meat, because they know of vibration. So it's crucial how the meat was killed in order for them to ingest it. Most of us on a whole who eat meat from the supermarket, it's not kosher, and kosher is not even the all and the end all anyway. You're still gonna die, it's just gonna prolong that death. But us, we just eat any meat. Proverbs 15, verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. That's telling you straight up about vibration. The herbs is on a higher frequency scale. The flesh is on the lower. Which part do you want to be a part of? Are you eating for the spiritual man or the physical man? That verse is talking about the lower extremes of the pH chart and the upper part of the pH chart. Acid and alkaline. 1 being the lowest, 14 being the highest, 7 being neutral. When you eat meat, you're gonna be more on the acidic side. And if you constantly do it, you're gonna go back to the 2s and the 1s, which will eventually lead to disease or death. And when those herbs with love, it's talking about the upper part of this chart. 8, 9, 10. Now you can also use that pH chart to test yourself, like I do. I do this weekly. This range is from about an 8.5 going into a 9. So I'm roughly about 8.5, 9 is my pH. And I use this to test it, and I test myself weekly. Now this might be a little better for you to see. Buy this, you can buy it off Amazon. Then you take a strip, dip it in your saliva, give it a couple seconds for it to cool off. Then it'll tell you where you are in terms of being acidic or alkalinity. All right, now a 7 is balanced, that's in the middle. Anything below 7, you're sick. Again, every species has a program. So when you now go eat something for another species, your program doesn't know what to do with it. What does it do? It stores it in the small intestines. Not your stomach. Your stomach is way up here. It stores it in your small intestine. And it needs 7 days to decide what to do with it. If not, then it dumps it. But here's the problem. You keep eating the same nonsense continually. So it just keeps building up, building up, building up. Then you get the pot bellies, the big guts. Then you gotta get colonoscopies. All these are because you're eating the wrong food. You'll never have to get a colonoscopy if you're on a fruit diet, fruit and vegetable diet, predominantly fruit diet. You will never have to do any of these things. So when it doesn't know what to do with it, it saves it for 7 days, then dumps it. Never wonder why when they tell you to detox, they say you have to detox for 7 days? Everything is 7. 7 is a little magical number when it comes to metaphysics. 7 days, 7 days a week, 7 spiritual planets. Takes 7 days for you to detox and cleanse that stomach out. Well, not completely, but you can begin the process of detoxing for 7 days, and then you're gonna probably have to add another 40 days. If you really want to clean your system, you need 40 days to start with from that continual fast. The storage of all that food in your small intestine is going to cause an acidic environment, which is going to soon cause disease and possibly death. You can't sit there and keep eating the same foods over and over again. Plus, you eat too many times a day. So even the 7 days where we would take to dump it, you're continually eating. Now, I can't tell you the problem without giving you a solution. The first thing is attack that gut with herbs to wash that gut out. Detox. Change your water. That water has to be at 7 or above in terms of pH. Eat mostly fruits with seeds and make sure they're organic. On the stickers, the numbers begin with a 9. Anything with a 4, they sprayed them. Anything other than that is GMOs. Then you eat leafy greens. Kales are good. Dandelion greens are good. Very strong in alkalinity. It'll raise your alkalinity very fast. No dairy, no meat, no seafood, because I know you guys like to think fish is not meat. It bleeds, it's meat. And start taking herbs for your medicine. And this is just the beginning. Now you can take your time and eliminate foods little by little. But if you're sick, which most of us are, you gotta start doing it like yesterday. Cold turkey. A good starting point is Dr. Sebi, which will tell you all the foods and he'll give you a good menu to start out with. And you're gonna have to check your pH weekly. Check it immediately to see where you at. And as you change your food, see how it's progressing. You gotta make that decision. Do you wanna be that spirit man or you wanna be that physical man? That's a decision that you gotta make.